Hello, good people of the internet. My name is Andy, and you're watching Geek Curio. And on the show with me today is my good friend Phil, all the way from Belgium. Hello, Phil.
Hello.
So, how are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah,
And yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. A little bit tired. It's been a long day, and it's like I say, I think this is the last thing we'll be doing before we go to bed. Obviously, not with each other because you're in Belgium. And our respective other halves probably wouldn't like that either. Um, so obviously I know you from the Goblins of Mordor Patreon.
Mhm.
We talk together on Discord. We've even had a chess match together as well.
Yes,
But
indeed, we did.
but the main reason we're talking today is basically miniature painting. Um,
Mhm.
you've done some absolutely beautiful pieces, but how did you get into miniature painting in the first place?
Um, I think, like a lot of people, I think it went through Dungeons and Dragons. So I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a long time, mainly as a player. But the
Hmm.
last couple of years, I also started to DM. So I wanted to have some miniatures and some maps. And first I bought like the pre-painted WizKids ones.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I mean I didn't like the quality and the things like this, and there were always cooler minis that were unpainted. So one day I was in Madrid, yes, Madrid, for
Hmm.
my work, and I found like a little hobby shop, and there I bought my first mini. It was a WizKids um, Halfling Thief. And this was my first mini. No, I didn't. I still haven't painted it, to be honest.
What?
But yes, yes. Because soon I bought a lot of other minis and I
Yes.
started to paint these. Um, but then actually I was hooked and I started to explore how can I paint these things because my first mini is completely horrendous. I mean, I
We've
just
all been there.
yeah, gave it a bath and wash, and all the color was gone, and it was like murky brown, black. But then I started to Google, and on Twitter I asked around, and that's how I found out about the Goblins of Mordor.
Hmm.
And yeah, here we are.
Yes, yeah. And like I say, some of the pieces that you've been doing are absolutely fantastic. I remember you were streaming painting the Skink Star Priest,
Yes.
which is absolutely beautiful. I also remember that you always say that you paint very, very slowly, but
Yes.
I think when you do take your time, the results that you come out with are absolutely stunning. So, but please tell us
Thank you.
about the Star Priest because I absolutely love it.
Well, it's actually it was my second or third model that I really wanted to do some deliberate practice.
Hmm.
So I really okay. I said okay. I want to do some non-metallic metal, so I just set out to do a non-metallic metal. But the problem is I'm a little bit how shall I put it? Hyper focused at times, and when I start painting a mini, I want to do it. Okay, one thing is nice, and then I want everything to be nice,
Yes.
and so then I like descend into a rabbit hole of mini painting, and that's why I'm so slow because then I don't want to ruin the mini, so I start painting very, very, very slowly, thin coats of paint, glazing all the way. Yeah, this is actually how I approach this model as well. Plus, I've been doing the zenithal highlight as
Hmm.
well, and this is helping me out a lot for the study of light. So I've really got interest into color theory, how lighting reflects on volumes and
Hmm.
things like this. And I really wanted to adapt this into the Star Priest as well. And another thing that I really start to do on this model is to paint without washes.
Okay.
So I'm terribly old school, I know, but I really enjoy glazing
Hmm.
a lot. So I use glazing almost, I think, 90% of my mini. So yeah, this is a thing that I really adopted here. So I glazed in. So if you have a look at the
Mm.
model, it's you have like if you look at the back side of the model, you have the tail that's glazed in yellow, but also then the lower parts of the model are also highlighted, but with a darker color than the more exposed parts. So I
Yes.
work with different shades, different highlights, and also on the feathers, the so the back side of the feathers are also painted the same color but with more black and gray added.
Yeah,
So really to desaturate and to try to paint what isn't really there,
painting
the reflections.
shadows really,
Yes, painting
because
the shadows, painting the highlights. So and this was very daunting. I was very afraid to do this. Um, and some models I completely ruined or didn't work out. Okay, but no harm done.
no.
You just take another model. But this one is actually my first model where I thought to myself, okay, you've taken a small leap into your painting skills, and yeah, for me this was also an eye opener that okay, you don't have to paint large volumes because I will never be able to paint large volumes. So you will never see me paint a Warhammer army because I think I will be retired when I finish my 2,000 points. Uh, but I can really enjoy the process.
Yeah.
So a little bit sorry for the models, but once they're done, okay, they're done.
I, I
Um,
I love the effects that you did on it. It's like you said with the you've taken you thought about how light reflects off different textures.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
how the light reflects on the skin is very different to how the light is absorbed by, say, the feathers. But even
yes.
like the he's got a bracelet, the
Mhm,
leather. You can even see where light is on the leather, but also part of it is in shadow where it's coming in.
mhm.
So it's absolutely phenomenal. Um,
Thank you.
Another thing that I'd like to bring up about it is just the skulls. Now, I used to do the Order of Death army for Warhammer, and I
Mhm.
found skulls just really easy because I just had one recipe that I just applied to everything. But I love how these are very crisp and very white skulls, yet you still once again have hints of shadows where the recesses are. So it looks like you've put a touch of grey, say the side of the
Yeah.
head. Um, and it just looks really, really crisp and way beyond something that I've done for my army. But then I was trying to get 2,000 points,
Yeah.
so I
It's
totally appreciate.
priorities, I guess. It's if you want to have your army on the table, then I wouldn't advise this approach
No,
because
no,
but I mean for an HQ model it could be nice to do, but I
it's
I saw this model lying around in a shop and I don't know a lot about the entire Age of Sigmar Warhammer thing, but I liked the effects. I liked the model. It's a nice
mhm.
sculpt. It's a jungle theme. He has the staff. So yeah, that's why it caught my eye because it was such an awesome model to paint.
Yeah. I also think with the, like you say, with the jungle theme, um, you have the option, the opportunity to use such vibrant colors as well, the greens and the blues and the yellows. Um, and it's one of those things that I always want to do. I want to be able to use more vibrant colors because I always seem to find myself going back to the same tried and tested color schemes that I work with. But I'd like to also bring up the dwarf as well, because so you sent me a dwarf in armor with his
Mhm.
mighty hammer. Um, I think I remember you paint. This is quite recent as well, isn't it?
It's
Yes,
also quite
and you're
recent.
doing non-metallic metal on this one. If I'm, this is your experiment.
Yes,
Yeah.
this mini is entirely non-metallic metal actually. So the hammer, but I did a little bit less of an emphasis on the hammer because I wanted the armor to stand out
Hmm.
more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really tried to blend the entire. I think it's full plate here, armor
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
dwarf. Really as an experiment to see, okay, how far can I push myself with painting this non-metallic metal. So it's far from the non-metallic metals that you can see everywhere on the internet with the pro painters, but I'm far from a pro painter. But I think I was able to bring out here. Wanted to go more for a murky approach. Like a dwarf is, he's a grumpy guy living underground.
Hmm.
So I mean, you don't have a lot of vibrant colors when you're a dwarf mainly. So I wanted to keep everything toned down. So here I went for blues, blacks, dark grays, and then again one of my favorite colors is the orange that I used for the Warhammer.
Mm.
This is my absolute favorite paint. I use it in almost nearly all my models. So I always have to have a little bit hint of this in my model. But for the rest, and also I wanted to make his skin and his beard stand out. So I wanted to have bright, dark, and then just a little bit more bright to bring out the contrast and to see whether as such, I can draw the people into the model more.
Yeah.
Because I used to paint like all over the place. The more colors I use, the better. But I started to realize that you just need variation. You take one or two colors or three colors, you add black, white, gray, and as such, you can really emphasize a lot more your model without risking to exaggerate on
Yeah.
it.
I think it's a very good. You're right in that the pictures that you see of non-metallic metal on Twitter and on Instagram is very, very different. But in my opinion, I think you've pretty much nailed it in that it does look metallic, and that's the important bit. With a lot of the non-metallic metals that you see online, it's very, very much over exaggerated with lots of white stripes as if it's catching light from all sorts of different angles. But no, I do feel that the goal that you set yourself has been achieved. And to me, just looking at it, it does look metallic. Even subtle things such as he looks like he's got a robe underneath the
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what that's called in medieval.
It has a name, but I can't remember it as well.
But yes, it's got a grimy look about it, yet you can clearly see there are shadows where the plate of the armor is casting on it. So, and even the satchel, which is made of leather, has that really good brown. Leather's one of those ones where you can either get it very, very right or you can get it very, very wrong.
Yes, yes. This leather is it's a tricky texture because if you paint it too crisp, it's off. It doesn't seem right. A leather satchel from a battle-worn dwarf, it's not crisp. It's beaten down. It's torn. So it has to be a little bit grimy as well. So
yeah, it's always trying to get the wear and tear on the leather, I think, which is the hardest thing to achieve.
Yes, I completely agree.
But it's very good. Going back to the hammer that he's carrying, you said the orange is your favorite paint. Can I ask where you got that paint from? Where it or what paint it is?
It's Kalahari Orange from scale 75.
Ah, again, someone else. I want to get hold of some scale 75, but I haven't quite got round to going all in yet. So.
Yeah, I mean they're quite different. When I first started out painting with them, I couldn't get my hand around it. It's different from Vallejo and different from Reaper. Very different because it's a more gel-like medium.
It's very
acrylic medium.
thin as well.
It's much thicker.
Oh, thicker. Okay.
But the upside is you can water it down quite far, and it will not break down on you.
Okay.
So this is also very interesting to glaze. So I really like them for glazes and also for doing things like copper or bronze effects. It's just a very, very nice color to work with, and I never knew I would have like my go-to paint, but I mean I pick it from my rack when I start a miniature. Even before I know I will be able to use it, I just put it on my table, and it's not right beside me for the moment.
It's kind of like your signature. So.
Yeah.
The last model I'm looking at now is the owl bear that you sent us. And obviously owl bears are extremely popular creatures. Everyone seems to like them. And like I say, this one looks absolutely fantastic, but you've also done some very interesting things with the base as well. But please walk us through this miniature.
Well, this was actually my first. So this is one of the Reaper Black owl bears.
Oh yes,
and
the rigid plastic.
The rigid, the black plastic. So and this is the first model that I painted when I got my airbrush. So this is the first lucky guy who got zenithal.
And
um,
am I right in thinking that you can see those sort of xenophils on the feathers? So if I'm looking at it straight,
yeah,
obviously you got a it goes from lighter to darker throughout the model.
yes, yes, and I mean, if I was experimenting like, okay, if I use thinner coats of paint, can I get my my shades better, my highlights better, and it really helped me out in painting this model to really bring more of a texture and a balance of light and shades here. So yeah, I was a little bit stressed out about the feathers because I had to dry brush them,
Hmm.
and I'm not a good dry brusher. I know
Okay.
this, so still need to work on my technique, but I think they turned out okay. But here I wanted to experiment actually with the fur of the creature to really bring out different textures. So I wanted to leave the monochromatic brown black,
Hmm.
but I put in some purple, I put in some red, some orange, some brown, and so I don't. It doesn't really show on on the pictures that much,
I
but
can see it
uh,
on the claws, so
yeah,
you can
yeah.
see very
You see that
purpley.
there's
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot more of an underlying texture there, and also with the brow of the. So I wanted to yeah, put some extra details there. So I wanted to paint like a white owl face there as well. So um and this is also the mini where I did my first really homemade base. So
Yes, I'm very
where
interested in this base.
yeah. So I built this base from scratch using some bark, some cork, wood filler, and texture paste.
Hmm.
And then I just primed the entire thing gray. And then I started applying here washes, dry brushing. So to really bring out a grimy woodland
Hmm.
base where the owl bear is standing on. So
I love it. It looks like
I was
it's
very happy with this miniature
yeah.
actually. So this was this was the mini that motivated me to start pushing myself
Hmm.
more and more. So to start painting at the edge of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
so that I'm not chickening out,
Hmm.
but on the other hand, I'm starting to push myself further.
Yeah. It's always good to pick a mini that will teach you something.
Yes.
So when you do it, so it's something that
Yeah.
I always
E-
like.
Even if it doesn't work out, if you learn something in the end, it will make you a better
Yeah.
painter, more accomplished painter.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to move on to another subject, and I'm going to be talking
Yeah.
about one of your passions,
Hmm.
and that is chess.
Yes.
Now, obviously, you started the Goblin Chess Club. I haven't been playing my matches. I've kind of unofficially dropped out.
I
um,
will keep stalking you guys, no worries.
but you've been taking some lessons from some chess experts, and you play at quite a competitive level as well, don't you?
Not that quite of a competitive level. I play at the club level.
Hmm.
So and but for a moment, I mean, I started out when I was a young boy, but then yeah, university came and I had to choose, so I stopped playing chess regularly. Um, but through college, I learned to play Go.
Hmm.
That's an Oriental board game.
Oh
So
yes, that's that's
but
quite complex as well, isn't it?
yes, it's more complex than chess.
Yeah.
I played it for a long time. But in the end, I came back to my old mistress being chess. And yeah, I don't know, but 2 years ago, I started to play some more chess. And then yeah, now I'm at a local club. I play there, but I also take lessons, and I really try to improve. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's I'm taking it seriously. I try not to take it too
Yeah.
seriously because in the end, I mean, I have a full-time job, so I can't study
You
like
want
the
to
young
enjoy it
kids.
as well.
Yeah, I need to enjoy it as well. So, but the fun side is I really like to do puzzles,
Hmm.
chess puzzles. So solving tactics, so I can really enjoy learning an opening, um, see where the highlights are in the opening, what are the plans, what do you need to avoid. So yeah, that helps me get better because I like to study theory. I mean, I'm how should I put it? I'm a study geek.
Yes.
With everything I do. So,
I remember you getting
like I
quite a
said,
few
color
books.
theory, the theory of miniature painting, chess.
Mhm.
If there's theory about if there's theory on it, I will have to read it.
The theoretical theorist.
Yes, yes.
Um, I remember our game because we had a game, and it was the most that I enjoyed of the Goblin Chess Club because um, we actually sat and played, and I think the entire game took about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas other games that I played, it was like I would make a move, and then the other person wouldn't move for about a day and a half, and I was like
Mhm,
pulling my hair out because.
mhm,
um, but I really enjoyed that game that we played because I think there was one point where you just paused for a very, very long time, and then you just typed saying, Andy, you're actually very, very good at chess. And honestly, I was trying something new as well because I was trying to pick the moves that people weren't expecting, sort of
mhm.
thing. Because I
Well,
didn't think I'd have a chance against you, but I think there was one bit where I think um, I was. I think I almost forced you into one mistake, but then I made another mistake, if I remember correctly.
yes, you almost got me. I remember well. It was in the mid game, and you were stockpiling all your pieces on one of my flanks, and if I made one subtle mistake, then it would have been horrendous.
Hmm.
But luckily, I was able to escape.
Yes, yes, I had you
So
on.
that was
I had you on
my
the rope. I had all your places, all your pieces tied up, wasn't it? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was completely overloaded, but there was one square, and this relieved all the tension, and then I had the means to come back. So
Even though I lost, I do have to admit. I mean, I played chess when I was a child, and I think I stopped when I was 12. So literally, probably talking close to 30 years that I hadn't played it, and it's only this year I picked up the chess pieces again, and it's the most enjoyable match I had was the one against you. Um,
it honors me. It really honors me.
okay. No, it's an honor for me as well. I really really enjoyed it, and it was just it was really really good. I really enjoyed. So, so thank you for bringing that back into my life.
Yeah,
I need.
with pleasure.
Hopefully, I'll try and play a bit more chess soon. I actually want to buy myself an actual chess set as well, so I can actually have that again. Because my chess set from when I was a kid, I have no idea where it is. It might be in my mother's house. I don't know.
Mhm.
So, but it's special things. So, my final question for today is
Yeah.
obviously with miniature painting and your passions. What advice would you have for someone who wants to get into miniature painting?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes, to ruin a model. I mean, if you hold back, you will never experience how shall I put it, the joy of being able to pull something off or to test something new.
Hmm.
And don't watch too much videos. Just pick up a brush, paint. If you have specific questions, look things up. But experiment. Try to find your own techniques because there are a lot of techniques. There are a lot of ways to paint a mini, and it will look good. If you have 5 different means of painting it, you have 5 minis that will look awesome.
Hmm.
But if you find if you invest the time to really pinpoint for yourself the techniques you like and enjoy the most, then you will enjoy the process. You will keep painting, and then you will gain more confidence, and then the ball is starting to roll, and
Yeah,
you will just have a wonderful time.
and
So
and take your time as well. No,
yes, and take your time as
take your
well
time.
if you want to.
Thank you ever so much for spending time with us today, Phil. I really, really
Thank you for having me.
appreciate it. For the people at home, I do recommend that you check out. Are you still Twitch streaming?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, 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 yes,
So
yes.
what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link for Phil's Twitch channel in the description below. So please definitely check that out and do give him a follow. Um, like I say, being able to see what Phil does, particularly with his painting, is an absolute joy to behold, and he's a wonderful guy to hang out with as well. So I absolutely love hanging out with you. even though it tends to be past my bedtime, I'm afraid, as school nights. Um, once again, the honor is all mine. Thank you ever so much for spending time, and we will see you again soon. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Phil.
very much for having me.
Bye bye.
Bye.